Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.
Welcome back to the Push to Pass podcast. Today I'm going to get real about sports marketing, sponsorship development, hard lessons learned along the way. We're going to talk about something a little bit different, and that's called losing. Not the kind of almost won situation, but a real hard loss. 7 figures gone, bye-bye. This one hurt, but I recovered. It happened a long time ago, and the mistakes that cost me the deal, well, they were mine. I could control almost all of them. And that's exactly why I wanted to tell you about it, because if I can learn from it, you can too. Let me set the stage. We've been working with a major organization. I'd spent time cultivating this relationship. This was a 7-figure deal every year. We had one main contact, seemed to be moving forward smoothly. For example, I knew what kind of beer the guy liked. I knew who he liked to play golf with. We were on this thing. And then guess what? That person left the company. I have a name for this. It's called regime change. And frankly, the new person has the responsibility of the transition. They can make whatever decisions they want. So out of the blue, my point of contact was replaced, and an internal candidate who could have been a part of our network at that organization from the very beginning took over. I thought, well, we're probably still in good shape, but we weren't. So lesson 1, know your contacts and diversify relationships within the sponsor company. This was my first mistake. I put all my eggs in one basket, relying on a single person. I didn't build connections across different departments. Looking back, it's clear how risky that was. In any organization, people move on, and you've only connected with one person. You're left scrambling to rebuild the trust with the company if a new contact's in place. So my recommendation is to ensure that your corporate relationships have some depth. Build some bench strength and collaboration across the organization. Recommend new clients to the partner and help them achieve business success. Maybe that involves the sales operation and the CEO instead of the marketing department. The second message I want to pass along, there's a mistake that I made here, which is a lack of clear, tangible measurement of what was most important to the client. So despite the possible biases that the new contact at this sponsoring company may have had, if I would have had great information to reinforce the return on investment in their key areas, I would have probably been able to keep the deal. The progress that you make should be a click away at any time. You should know what progress you've been making. I didn't have the information to reinforce the program's growth or what areas would have made the program a good investment. And when that internal change happened, there was no backup to show how effective we were. I got a quick story for you as an example. I had a sponsor once that said his main objective was to get more business through our organization. And by the way, he was the sponsor of the golf tournament, requested that his foursome was made up of people in his own company, his buddies that he wanted to play golf with. I could have set him up to play golf with the best clients in American business. And I told him, hey man, next time you bitch about not signing new clients through us, let's remember today. So know how they are going to judge whether the program's successful or not, and make sure you're returning on those things. The next lesson I have is always have data on your side. No matter how a strong relationship seems, decisions are still made often based on numbers and results. So I want those in my favor. Looking back, if I would have pulled together metrics showing that we increased the number of new clients they had compared to the amount of money they were paying us, we might have had a chance. Data can tell a great story, but we need to be intentional from the very beginning of a sponsorship program about what data is necessary. So that's a lesson I can't stress enough. Track everything, document your wins, and be prepared to prove your value at any moment. Next point, assuming renewal of a deal. Now, then I made the mistake of making the assumption that we were always going to have this business. I thought, hey man, we're good. This is an established relationship. It'll always be there. In some egotistical way, I thought they needed us as much as we needed them. Man, was I wrong. So remember, sponsorship is earned, not given. Every year, every contract. It's not enough to think we did a great job so they'll renew. I took for granted that our value was understood and didn't focus enough on proving it again and again. And I paid for it by not getting paid again. If you're intentional about showing your impact throughout the entire partnership and doing that maybe on a quarterly basis, hey, here's what we're doing, here's the metrics, here's how we've been performing against your key areas, I think we've got a good chance of renewing that deal. So, here are final thoughts. I lost a 7-figure sponsorship and it hurt, man. It was all in my control. From diversifying the relationships and tracking metrics to proving our worth consistently, these are now non-negotiables in my approach to sponsorship. And my partners, if you're in sports marketing or any business development role, remember, never assume, always measure, and build trust widely and deeply across the association, company, or organization you work with. Thanks for tuning in today. I'd be grateful if you share this episode with a colleague that is a sports marketer or a team that wants to improve its sponsorship program. We'll talk next week.
Thank you for listening to the Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. If you would like to sponsor Push to Pass, send an email to jp@jpmurray.com. Follow JP on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. His website is jpmurray.com. Until next time, push yourself to pass the competition. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.